Okay, let's continue from my previous lecture. Okay, uh, the next thing that we're gonna cover is let me see. All right, employee monitoring. Right, some companies use software that can either block particular internet service or monitor what employees do on their computer. Basically, employer employers have the right to monitor the activities of the network and computer system, right? So there is actually no privacy if, for example, if the employer suspect that the staff or faculty do something wrong, then they may have do some investigation. So basically, what people do at the office is not very confidential 100% because employer have the right to monitor and inspect employee email if they warrant that it is necessary to do some investigation. All right. Government surveillance. uh, since 9/11, because of 9/11, the US government created a Patriot Act, or Foreign Intelligence Surveillance. This gives the government broad surveillance power. Basically, they have the right to monitor the citizens' digital communication or browsing on the internet. That's what it is. Some people may not agree because uh, they violated civil privacy or civil liberty of the people. Well, that's maybe you can discuss that in the criminal justice or political science course, right? Many government agencies such as the NSA, FBI, they monitor the internet and mobile activities of individuals all over the world. For example, when people browse on the internet and they type how to make bomb like that or something that is concerned to the national security, that will be a red flag to the NSA and the FBI. So please do not make a joke on that, especially when you deal with the national security things. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Uh, Privacy policy, right? If you don't want to if you want to have information confidential, including like in the Facebook, so do not share that, because once students share something on the internet, there is no privacy at all. Okay, so that's become a public domain. Therefore, I usually don't involve too much on the Facebook. Also, I just share some important stuff. I don't share my personal life or any other activities. I probably just share travel destination or something good or nice, just a general terms. All right. So nothing posted to social media services or anywhere else on the internet should be considered private. So use wisely and diligently and carefully. All right. Private browsing, you can do some program or call Tor browser, right? If you Google it on the internet, you can download Tor browser. That means it's an anonymity software that will help you match your IP address from website. Okay, so Tor. Let me show it to you here. If you want to have a private browsing, you can download this program called Tor browser, right? This one. Okay. Protect yourself against advertising, tracking, surveillance, or any censorship, right? As you notice that these programs are this private browser are available in Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and even Android phone. All right, let me see. So private browsing, if you are using Google Chrome, they allow you to have a private browsing here. Let me see, where is it located? Hmm, let me see. Let me see. Where is it? Find it. Huh? Let me find out here. Okay. In Google Chrome, you just have to go here. New incognito windows. This is called the private browsing, right? So Google Chrome will not save your browsing histories, cookies, and site data or information entered in the phone, right? However, your activity might still be visible to website visit, employer or school or ISP. All right, it's not 100% private unless you use the program called. Remember, I mentioned to you earlier, is Tor. Tor. This is completely private. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Digital divide refer to the technology gap that exists between different social and economic classes. We don't see this in the United States because the government here always helps people that want to learn. Okay, although some people live in the low social economic status, you can still find library or internet using satellite. People People see digital divide mostly in other countries, like maybe in Africa or in some poor other Asian country. Okay, so in the US we don't see this much. So digital divide basically the technological gap that exists between different social economic status. Whistleblowing is the act of alerting public about harmful activities that are being being hidden by an organization. Basically, when a person works for a company, when they uh, say to public, expose to public some wrongdoing about organization, put it to the press. That's called whistleblower. Uh, there is a whistleblower act that protect the whistleblower uh, when they expose something bad about organization or company. But remember, whistleblowers can have a very significant effect because company may not like it, so they may create a hostile environment, right? So this is kind of a very dilemma situation actually, because once you expose that to the public, that means organization or company may see you differently, but you are protected under whistleblower act. All right. Green computing. Green computing, that means uh, computers or technology that focus on reducing the environmental impact of computer and their widespread use. For example, people may use virtualization. Do you know what virtualization is? Virtualization means when you have a physical computer, okay, let's say that you have a computer here. This is physical computer, right? You have one physical computer. Okay, when you have a physical computer, you can create another computer within that, okay, using a program called virtualization. So let's say that you have this physical computer. Okay, this is your physical. Within this physical, you can create we can create another computer inside this. So let me give you example. See if I can give you example text box. Okay, so here, so we can create this within the physical computer. It's called VM. Okay, this is called VM. So let me see, this is for example another window, right? This is your window, and then we create another window within that. How does it possible? You will need a program called VirtualBox. VirtualBox. This program allows you to have operating system within operating system. Notice here, this is Windows. Within Windows, you can create another Windows XP within it. So you have two operating systems. All right. This is an example of a green computing, right? Virtualization is an example of green computing. Power management of a computer, you need to know what is sleep mode and hibernation mode, right? What's the difference? Okay, sleep mode, that means if you put your computer under sleep mode, that means the content will be saved in your RAM. Let's say that the student, while listening to this lecture, student step out to HEB for 5-10 minutes, right? If the electricity goes off, then you will lose all the information because the data is just saved in the RAM temporarily, right? However, if you put your computer under hibernation mode, in the power management, if you go to control panel and power management, you put your computer in the hibernation mode. That means the content will be saved in the RAM and in your hard drive. So let's say that student right now listening to my lecture using PowerPoint, and then you step out to go outside maybe for 5-10 minutes. In the meantime, the electricity goes off. Well, all the works and PowerPoint will be saved in the hard drive, right? So this is much better than the sleep mode, because under hibernation mode, the data is saved in the RAM and in the hard drive. If you just put on the sleep mode, the content will not be saved in the hard drive. Therefore, you will lose all the information. Therefore, whenever I do this PowerPoint presentation to students, I always save this. You go to File and then Save As, right? I always save this, right? Chapter 6, Legal and Ethics, right? COSC 1301. I always save this just in case that the electricity shut down, then we will not have it. All right, so we have a few more slides here, but this is belongs to part number 2. I'm going to stop here on part 1. All right, so be sure that the student review this PowerPoint. Okay, I will post this PowerPoint in the Blackboard so you guys can review that. As you notice that I already highlighted with the red color some of the keywords, so spend some time reviewing, studying, and reading the books. Remember, learning is a process, so it's not the magic as well. So it takes time to learn and absorb all the informations. As I mentioned to you, I'm going to post this one on the Blackboard. However, I will not ask you to complete it because I want students to remember. You need to study for exam number 3, which is chapter 5 and 6. Exam number 3 is in the Blackboard. Not in the Blackboard. It's in the SIMNet. And then let me show you the deadline. The deadline to take exam number 3 is May the 8th. Okay. The deadline to submit exam number 3 is May 8th, Friday, 2020. Okay, because this week from 11/12 to 13, from 10/11/12 to 13, I think I'm going to give you 2 or 3 days to complete final exam, right? So this will be your final exam week. So you have 2 or 3 days to complete it. Don't give me an excuse that, oh, I forget that, because I have already give you enough time, right? I will open starting Saturday or Friday so student can take their final exam as well. I will provide final exam review later on in the week. All right. All right then. Hopefully that this video tutorial is informative to you, and thank you for watching.